see reviving Nigeria's oil and gas sector as important to improving foreign currency inflows into Nigeria. Well, let's explore the prospects of project management in developing Nigeria's energy sector. Joining us now for that conversation is George Samani, Managing Director and at Project Management Institute. Great to have you on the show.
Hi, thanks a lot for having me. I really appreciate it, and greetings to the viewers as well.
Great to have you. Great to have you. So we see Nigeria's vast energy resources, yet we're facing significant, energy deficit. What are some of the key challenges, hindering the development of Nigeria's energy sector, in your view?
Yeah, thanks for that. I think let me just start with some context, and then maybe even from an optimistic perspective, right? Because we'll talk about challenges. We know, of course, Nigeria's got incredible potential when it comes to energy production. And when you look at, for example, Nigeria's energy reserves and the quality of the type of energy produced, it's, like second to none. And also when you look at the incredible work that organizations like Dangote are doing, building the world's largest single train oil refinery, when you look at some of the renewable innovations that are coming out of entrepreneurs, right? You can't not marvel at the potential. However, as you rightly mentioned, there are challenges. So between now and the time that we sort of like realize this optimism, we've got to deal with some of these challenges. And specifically to your question, what are they? Right? We know that we currently don't generate enough power. And even if we did, we actually don't have what it takes to distribute it across the entire country. So it's an infrastructure challenge, the infrastructure to produce and the infrastructure to distribute the power. And this is why there are power cuts if you're connected to the grid. And if you're in a rural area, then the likelihood is you're not connected to the grid in the first place. So yes, it's a difficult challenge. And these things obviously affect our well-being and everyone's life potential, right? Everyone's just trying to live their lives to the best, but some of these things are hindrances. The other challenges, really, you could say, are related to fixing this first challenge. So challenges like the funding constraints, right? Where are we going to get the money to build energy infrastructure, right? In addition to that, you've got the challenges of national policy and regulation. How do we ensure that there are strong enough systems and processes in place in Nigeria to create the best delivery and investment environment for the energy sector? And then finally, you've got to look at skills, right? The skills gap challenge. We need a lot of people, and those people need to be able to deal with complex projects, right? Because the energy projects are complex, and the challenges themselves also throw a different layer or another layer of complexity into the mix. And the thing is, I think it's worth pointing out that this is not just a problem that's unique to Nigeria. If you look at a country like South Africa, pretty much just a generation ago, there was no such thing as power cuts. Now they have them, and we're seeing that in other African countries. So it's an African problem, and this is probably why this is one of the African Development Bank's high five priorities. And really, if we're able to successfully address these challenges, I think we're going to see meaningful progress in our continent.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, seeing power cuts, in countries like South Africa. I'm sure they're definitely not used to that, at this time. But how do you think players in Nigeria's private sector can help in building, a strong pool of skilled project managers, specifically, for this energy sector?
I think it's about collaboration. The same response I gave about a year ago on this same show. We've got to work a lot more together. So what we do at PMI, Project Management Institute, we're the global body behind the profession of project management. And really our purpose is all about providing that project management skill, because it's project management that helps you get from A to Z. And in going from A to Z in the best way possible, you're able to deliver on your objectives. So as a country, what are our objectives? Economic growth, right? Social improvement. And so we as at PMI, we work with government, we work with private sector, we work with youth and education. And so it answers to your question, the collaboration is actually very, very important. For instance, working with governments, I'll give an example of the South African government, back to South Africa. We partner with the government there, collaborating with the government there. The regulator for construction projects has adopted our standards, and what we're doing is we're working together to help to improve project management capability within the country. In Nigeria, we're partnered with some of the largest construction companies and energy companies there as well, all about upskilling the workforce so that people who are working in project management are able to work side by side with subject matter experts and also, for example, the corporate leaders to make sure that the execution of the vision comes to pass. Because that's what project management is, as I said, getting from A to Z in the best way possible, which means executing on the vision, making sure that the vision is being executed.
All right, is having skilled, project managers, is it that silver bullet that can, help, any country's energy sector at this time, or a country like Nigeria?
It's definitely not a silver bullet. And you only have to look at the list of challenges to see that it's not a silver bullet. Sticking to the gun analogy, it's one of the bullets, right? Because you're going to have to take more than one shot. We talked about the challenges of infrastructure, challenges of funding, but the challenge of execution is absolutely one of the challenges that you're going to have to deal with, because you can have all the money, but if you don't have that execution capability, your money is going to be wasted. You can have all the regulation in place. If you don't have the execution capability, your money is wasted. You can have all the infrastructure. If you don't have the execution capability in place, your money is wasted. So it's not a silver bullet. It's one of the 3 or 4 or 5 silver bullets that you need. You will need all the bullets.
Yeah, definitely need all the bullets, for this industry at this time. Well, are there any specific programs or, initiatives that could help in addressing these capacity needs of Nigeria's energy sector?
Yeah, there's several, right? So, I'll just name a few, but, there's a long list. So I'm not going to go through. Just if we start with the actual skill itself, again, speaking from a point of view of project management as one of the silver bullets, the key thing is the skill to help your team. And in the energy sector, we're talking about large teams. We're talking about teams of hundreds of people, in some cases, maybe thousands of people. We're talking about millions or billions of dollars, right? And so you need that skill to be able to coordinate large numbers of people, coordinate large amounts of resources. You need the skill to manage risk. You need the skill to be able to see things through to the end. And we are able to provide that skill, and we are providing that skill to various organizations across Nigeria. So, and that skill is provided through professional communities that we lead. For example, PMI Nigeria chapter, that skill is also provided through certifications and training, for instance. So we have the world's leading project management certification and training, certifications like the PMP, Project Management Professional. In addition to some of these core certifications, we also look at, okay, what about industry-specific certifications? If you look at the energy sector, one of the largest areas within the energy sector is construction. But if you look at the construction sector in the last 30 years, there hasn't really been much development or advancement or even growth. But it is actually one of the biggest globally. So we looked at, okay, what can we do within the construction sector as a driver for progress within energy and other sectors? And so we partnered with some of the largest construction training companies, some of the largest construction companies themselves, companies like Aramco, US Army Corps, construction companies from all around the world, to identify within the construction sector what are the 3, 4, 5 key areas of focus from a skills perspective that will move the needle when it comes to efficiency. And we've come up with a new resource construction professional certification that is created jointly with industry, as I mentioned, in order to be able to create these efficiencies. Because guess what? The research shows that like a 1% improvement in the efficiency of construction projects could give you literally hundreds of millions, if not $1 billion in savings on average globally. So there's a lot to be said about specific efficiency gains through project management within the construction, which of course is a huge part of energy. Some other initiatives that we run are, again, professional community initiatives. So for instance, we run the largest gathering of project managers in the world, the PMI Africa Conference, which is held every year. This year it's being held in November in Kigali. And so, again, it's a long list. I'm not going to go through all of it, but there's several initiatives that we're undertaking, including, as I mentioned earlier, working with government, working with corporations, working with the youth and academic space to highlight and to partner on delivering that project management capacity building across Africa.
Right, and I'm guessing, someone who doesn't have experience, with project management, they might be looking at this skill as something they might want to actually venture in. How hard is it, getting, how hard or easy is it, getting this skill? Or what do you have to do to actually, get ahead, at this time?
Sure, a great question. So this is a professional skill. Like many professional professions, you can start from the beginning, or you come in the middle or advance, depending on where you are. So there's a journey that's available. In other words, if you're at the beginning of a journey, if you have no experience in project management at all, log onto our website or visit the PMI Nigeria chapter, and you can start from the beginning, the basics, right? You've got CAPM, which is Certified Associate in Project Management. It's a foundation level certification in project management. If you're in the middle of your career, most people in the middle of their career are looking at the PMP. That's the Project Management Professional certification. It's the gold standard globally when it comes to project management. And then you have other specializations. So if you're already in the field, or you want to specialize, or you're looking for specific focus, I mentioned the construction certification. You can dive straight into that, or you can look at PMOGA. That's the Global Alliance, Project Management Organization, Global Alliance. And this is all about looking at, how do I build a PMO? How do I lead project management from that high level? So the point is, we have something for people right at the beginning of the journey, all the way to those who are experienced and who are looking for specializations.
Right, and going forward now, what are you seeing for Nigeria's energy sector and this skill of being a project manager?
Yeah, the previous speaker, Chinan, he talked about the effect of some of the geopolitical events on the energy sector, and how much they contribute to fluctuations in the energy sector, like what happened in the Middle East yesterday. It's super critical. And one of the key skills that a project manager needs is risk management. How do you plan for these sort of things? Of course, something like a war is very difficult to plan for. And even if you plan for it, you may not even appreciate the extent of the impact it's going to have. But the role of a good project manager is to be able to get ahead of these things, to be able to understand these things, and to lead your company to be able to navigate through some of these risks, some of these challenges, and these issues when the risks materialize. And so we, as PMI, as I mentioned, our vision and our purpose is to upskill the continent, in this case Nigeria, so that we have more project managers that can drive some of these things, that can drive some of these companies, that can drive some of these industries through helping with the execution of the vision, and also protecting the journey through things like risk management, stakeholder management. So to answer your question in terms of what's the future of energy, that really depends on how well we're able to provide the skill set that's needed. We hope that the future is bright. This is what we're working towards in partnering with government, partnering with private sector, and partnering with organizations. As I said at the beginning, everybody knows Nigeria's potential is incredible, right? And we are just one of many organizations that are committed to Nigeria and committed to Africa to help to make that a reality.
All right, definitely wish you luck going forward, and I hope Africa actually lights up, at some time. It was great having you. George Asamani, Managing Director,
Thank you.
PMI. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.